Hey, this is Lars from Metallica. 1FM is with us on our UK tour, and we'll be bringing you nightly reports on what really goes on out here in our little Metallica world.
Think back to any live gig you've ever been to. What do you remember? The roadies, that's right. Those heaving bodies swaggering around in the tour T-shirts, swinging from the scaffolding. It might look glamorous, but the reality is in fact very different.
On the Metallica tour, they're carrying 130 tons of equipment, and 40 tons hangs from the ceiling. And as News 92's own roadie, Richard Evans, found out, moving that lot around is virtually a 24-hour-a-day job.
It's 11 o'clock. After 2.5 hours of driving metal for the fans, it's all over. But the evening's just begun for Ian Jeffrey and Jake Berry.
I go out there when it's over, and we organise all the local hands, because every city we go, we travel with 67 people, including caterers and truck drivers. But then in every city, we'd hire, I think it's 56 local help to give us a hand, because without them, we couldn't do it.
Those 4 guys or 5 guys, with Metallica is 4. The only thing they should have to worry about in a day, in a month, is to go out there and make sure those 10,000 people who have paid all that money, that's all they've got to worry about. They shouldn't have... A lot of people create dramas. They like to be loud, visible. And we're the opposite, me and Jake. We just take it. If there's a problem, take it out of the way, get it done, so they should never know what goes on.
At some point, you're going to have to stop.
It's only a couple of minutes since the band came off that stage, and already a small army's crawling all over it, pulling it to pieces, taking lights down, moving the speakers.
The object is to get out as fast as humanly possible. What happens is we roll the stage out so we can land the lights on the floor, as opposed to landing them on a stage like in a normal proscenium. Hey, you want to just go and get any of them white cases that are full and take them out to truck number 1. And same thing, anything ready underneath here, underneath truck number 1. Look at them, see the way they're running around. Look at these guys. They're my favorite guys. We'll get you sweating in a minute, Richard. We don't have a woman rigger out here. We have one in the States. It's just 2 girls on the lights, and they work really hard. And they do the same as any other, man. They eat with us. They don't sleep with us, but they, on the same bus, they get the same conditions.
Just looking at the stuff you're bringing down here, there's a hell of a lot of ironmongery hanging from that ceiling. And it's always struck me at concerts, what had happened if something gave way and it'd fall off?
Everything, when it comes out the shop, is built with safety in mind and to be moved quickly. Everything's got the old tried and trusted British standards, 6-to-1, 7-to-1, 10-to-1 safety factor. So, we wouldn't put it up if we didn't feel confident. You can take the trusses as well, okay?
It's now 2 a.m. I'm exhausted, but these guys aren't. There's nothing left in there. They've loaded everything, the lights, the stage, 14 articulated lorries worth. And these trucks are ready to roll up to Glasgow, 10-hour journey, and I'm getting on this bus.
It bounces, it's bumpy, it's cold, it's home. You go to sleep at night after the gig, you wake up, you do another gig. It's got all the luxuries of home except a bed that stays still with your wife in it.
Richard, when people finish working and the show's been good and the loadout's been good and it's been a really good day, everybody thinks you're dead tired, but when you get on the bus, you're on such a high, your adrenaline's flowing, you sit down and you're talking about war stories. It's just tour stories. It's the same,
The money's good. The traveling's nice at times, it gets tiring, but most people think that all we're doing out here is drugs and women and drinking all the time. Well, when it comes down to it, we work probably anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a day when there's a show. And you move on to the next town and you go to a hotel room, which sometimes you stay in some of the nicer hotels. Sometimes you stay in real dives. But you sleep all day and then get up the next day and go to work. There is glamour. You're with the biggest rock band in the world, Metallica. I tell you what, there's nothing better than that than to be with the best guys in the world to work for and get paid for it.
Andy Italiano came up to me and he goes, so if I don't ride...
As you'll see when you travel us for a week, you're going to live, you're going to eat, you're going to sleep, not with each other, but by them. You're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to know what everybody does. You're going to know when they've had an argument with a girlfriend or wife on the phone. This is like Coronation Street on wheels.
freaks. This is James from Metallica, and the inside story of our UK tour is exclusive to News 92, closer to the live music.
Halfway through our week on the road with Metallica, and it's time to get in amongst the fans and start some serious headbanging. And some of the most serious takes place around the specially designed stage and even inside it, where the band have constructed the Snake Pit.
It's actually a fenced-off area sunk deep into the stage where the whole performance goes on around you. When Metallica were in Whitley Bay, we sent our own Viper into the Snake Pit. Richard Evans tonight goes in search of the hardest disciples of the metal religion.
I'm here with 60 lucky fans in the Snake Pit in the centre of the stage, and it is loud. You see all sorts of people in here, though. Well, the other day there was that tennis star, Pat Cash.
It was quite amazing, actually, to walk in the middle of the stage and to actually see everybody, in front of you and above you and everything. It was fantastic.
This is your type of music.
Yeah, every time I come to a Metallica concert, I've been to 2 or 3 or 4. I go home feeling good because I've sort of, belted out the, anger. I don't know, it's really weird.
He's swearing at the fans. The headbangers have got their hair flying everywhere. When you've seen a couple of these shows, you start thinking, what is this heavy metal thing all about? Time to seek an audience with the lead singer, James Hetfield.
People do take at least lyrics and our attitude and say, image, if there is one, for themselves, and they really do believe in really what we're doing, and that has a lot to do with the dedication that they feel, for the band. I mean, we grew up listening to music. We knew what it was like to have a so-called rock personality kind of shrug you off, or just kind of drive by, or not even want to say hi, and it didn't feel very good. We take the time to make sure that doesn't happen.
Sad but true.
He cares about the fans. It's pretty obvious they're not just in it for money or whatever.
They talk to you like you're human, not like they're just putting on a show and you're there and they're up on the stage. You're all together as like a family.
They're just normal guys, that's the main thing.
Sometimes, if you're feeling down or low, or, you can really relate to the songs and it does help you,
Now that the war is through with me, I'm waking up, I cannot see that there's not much left of me. Nothing is real but pain now.
A guy's a soldier, right, and his life is like, just generally, it's a good song.
Guy comes back and he's got absolutely nothing left. One man is taking the sight, so it puts the words into like music that we can relate to. It's a lot more powerful.
It's delivered in a manner you can't ignore.
I guess a reaction for the crowd when he goes, oh, F off.
Well, yeah, there's one guy tonight that stood there the whole gig with his middle finger up the whole gig, like this. Man, your finger must be tired. So what's that about then? I don't know. It's a sign of respect, I figure. It's kind of you to all the bullshit that goes on. Corporate stuff, the business, the whatever.
All that is, was, and will be. Universe, much too big to say.
If you really want to know what all this is about, ask one of the biggest names in heavy metal. He's got short hair and you've never heard of him. He manages Metallica and he manages Def Leppard. He's Peter Mensch.
The most successful bands in the world, I think, speak to people's feelings and concerns, musically, and then more importantly, what separates them is lyrically. It's like, hey, I'm alienated. Well, you're alienated, I'm alienated. So let's talk about alienation. Or, some people will talk about being in love. I mean, it really depends on your perspective on life. In our case, our singer's got a sort of odd perspective on his life. I mean, so I think a lot of kids relate to that because they're 16 or 17 or 18 or 20, and they're going, oh my God, I'm flipping burgers for a living. This is what I'm going to be like. This is my life. This is stressful. This stresses me out, or whatever they do. And if they're really successful, they go to Elton John shows.
The band started out playing live in small clubs like most do, and it grows and grows. It's not that we want to change the show. We love the intimacy, the eye contact,
the real up-closeness of the club gigs. We've tried really hard to reenact that here in a bigger venue. With the stage, the snake pit, there's the video screens. People need to see facial expressions with our band. So we're dealing with it in the Metallica fashion, as best we can.
I think everyone in here is ready to have some fun today, don't you think so?
Well, hello, freaks. This is James from Metallica, and the inside story of our UK tour is exclusive to News 92, closer to the live music.
Yes, we're on tour with Metallica this week, and tonight it's The Management. And a man who slipped into the country this week and then slipped out again. He's Peter Mensch, and he's one of the top generals in the battleground of heavy metal.
He manages a clutch of acts, including Def Leppard and, of course, Metallica. But it's thanks to him that Lars and the boys, and, of course, our very own Richard Evans, can relax between dates on the private jet.
Peter is half of our management company, which is his partners, Cliff Bernstein, and they run a company called Q Prime Inc. They've been managing us since 1984 within the very close, confined world of Metallica. There's the four of us, and then there are two managers.
We'll listen to their songs. We'll tell them what we don't, what we like and what we don't like. We also, in this case, suggested that they use the producer that they use, this guy, Bob Rock.
They get you tours, they do the right things, they pull the strings, they make sure that you get the kind of money that you should get. Every time that we get a little out of line, they kind of kick us in the ass.
We'll help them pick out what T-shirts to sell, what songs to release to radio, what videos to make. In fact, we'll discuss what our ideas for a particular video. For example, in our Sandman, my partner said we should make a video about nightmares, because that's what the song is about. I had these nightmares when I was a kid. What kind of nightmares did you have?
Say your prayers and so on. Don't forget my son to include everyone.
I go to see people do it well and badly. I hear there's a great show. You should see U2's show. So I go and see, all right, what can I nick? And also see what I don't like about it, or what they nicked from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Def Leppard played around in 1987. Well, Prince sent some spies to Richmond, Virginia, and he played around in 1989, right? And in fact, people have told me from Prince's organization that someone said, well, Def Leppard can do it, you can do it. And he did it. Not as well as we did, I think, but people, it's the same thing. I stole, people being in the pit from an idea I had from a symphony orchestra concert I saw 30 years ago. So, it's all depends where you get it from. But yeah, I see a lot of people do it badly. But that's because I don't manage them.
How much money's tied up in a show like this?
Oh, I can't talk about money on the radio. That's not fair. It's a goodly sum of money. I forgot what the
hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands, but we don't make that much money. We pay rent to Wembley. If you clear 40 to 50% of the gross, you're doing well. And out of that, you have to pay your expenses. Trucks, buses, sound, lights, crew salaries. But where you make your money then is the kids buying the T-shirts or the pins or the scarves or the buttons. So the theory always is with a European tour, break even on the gross, the gig, and make money on the merchandise.
Last chance for your T-shirt.
Who's next, please? Well, I'm an 18 quid a minute.
£5.
Large. One on the left and one on the right. One on the left will do, sir. No, one at right. Sorry.
We've got 6 different designs of T-shirts, 2 that are all over print, as we call them, which means the design extends to the sleeves and all over front and back. And those are American made at £18 each. And then 4 standard 100% cotton T-shirts, 3 of them black and 1 of them white. And then the standard range of hats, programs, bandanas, pins, that sort of thing.
36, please.
Cheers.
Thank you. Okay, thanks very much.
The one thing you can never do with a band is tell them how to play. I mean, you can discuss a lot of things. You can set it up any way you want. It's like, it's like picking your best 11 for a football match, and then they go out and they got to play the damn thing, you know what I mean? So in my case, it's like, here's your stage, I hope you like it, and let's make some changes if you don't, whatever it is, just go do it and do it the best way you can. I'm getting older, but I don't want to sort of give up and be my parents yet. So as I still go out there and bang my head, maybe I'm a throwback. I don't know how many of these kids when they're late 30s, we'll put it, will come back, but I still enjoy it.
Europe's biggest radio station, like you've never heard it before.
Touring can be such hard work, can't it?
Staying in luxury hotels.
All those adoring fans.
Travelling around the world.
The stretch
And
limos.
the private jets.
Well, it's the end, thank goodness, of our week on the road with Metallica, and tonight they play Dublin.
The crew have been setting up throughout the day while Lars, James, Kirk and Jason have been resting after that long and arduous flight on the private jet.
Poor things, they must be exhausted. Richard Evans was on board.
This whole thing about this image that a lot of people have of, sex, drugs, rock. I mean, we're out here, we have our girlfriends out here, we're sitting here peacefully having a late night snack. I'm sitting here looking over the tour program, wondering how the hell we stayed alive for these 210 shows that we've played so far.
Usually, I think we're pretty shaken by the time the 3 hours have gone by, and usually try to put back some fuel into your body and then go and talk to the kids, and sign autographs, do that kind of thing.
After, so you can sign it under my shoulder.
There you go.
Thanks very much.
Oh, it's you again.
It's me again.
This guy's already got 97 autographs. Now he has 98.
I've got 4.
You'll be on Radio 1 tomorrow.
Get on the plane, fly for a little while, basically get to the next place and do the same damn thing over again. That's about it. We've learned to deal with each other. We respect each other's differences, And the more you kind of grow up and kind of mature together, you know what each other is about. When you grow up with these other 3 guys, for at least Lars and I, it's been 10 years or more, 11 years. For Kirk, 10, and Jason, 8. So we damn well know each other.
We know that from playing with each other for over the years that, some people, it's not always going to be good, man. There's always going to be some things about a guy that you don't like, or whatever, but that's how that person is, and you have to accept that, you love them for that. And that's just, you love them for the way they are, even though it's bumpy sometimes,
So close, no matter how far, we must fall from the heart.
Hang on, can these 3 nice young men be the same animals that thrash around effing and blinding on stage every night? Ask someone who can see behind the image. He's photographed them enough. He's the tour photographer, Ross Halfin.
Oh yeah, they're very normal. I mean, Lars, his nickname is the Prince, as in His Royal Highness, that whatever the Prince wants. But he can be a pain, but he actually does send himself up a bit. For instance, I was doing something today, and there was a journalist there, and he said, "What lens have you got?" I said, "A wide angle to fit Lars's ego." Lars laughs. James, I find, is really shy and finds it very hard to talk to people. Jason's more like a fan. And Kurt, is a real comic book, collector. Well, I think, even though I hate to admit this, Lars is sort of the brains and the instigator of getting things done.
So what's it like then as a way of life? Beats working in the factory, no doubt. I mean, it's up to us. Whatever money we want to spend on the road, some band don't want to spend nothing and spend it all at home, We spend money on nice travel, on nice hotels, on nice food. When you get enough sleep and you get the proper food in your guts, you play a better show.
It's been a great tour.
Oh, absolutely.
I've really enjoyed it. Been with you for a week. With you, I'm sorry. But not with you for a week. But...
Oh, you were with the rest of us too, huh? Wow. Slut.
Reaching out for something you got to feel. While clutching the one you thought was real.
There's so many more members of Metallica than just the 4 guys in the band that are playing on the stage. All these guys that work under the stage and around the stage and on top of the stage, and the lights, and the journalists like yourself, and the guys that sell the records that are really into it. You know, they're wearing Metallica shirts when they're selling the records and stuff. We represent a lot of people, and we know it. And I don't know, we're pretty proud of it. You know, Metallica's still my favorite band.
Europe's big